Hey, welcome back to Math in Minutes. I'm here with the review video for today's lesson. Today is January the 11th, 2018, and we worked on, oh my goodness, I just drew a blank. We worked on, comparing decimals. See, I had to think about it. Comparing decimals. Comparing decimals using symbols. All right, so what we did with this lesson today is it's building on what we had previously learned where we were converting fractions and decimals. Now we are comparing them. We compared fractions before, so we compared different pictures. For example, 4/10 is what to 3/10, and we've looked at pictures. And we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. We see that 4/10 takes up more space than 3/10, so 4/10 is greater. This is what we had previously done. We are now building on that and comparing decimals. And the students were shown comparing decimals with place value charts. So this is really important. They did show pictures like this. That isn't realistic for the kids to do during a test. So place value is a really safe and quick way to go. And since we are talking about decimals, we're talking about parts of a whole, so we always include a ones place. We have our decimal point, we have our tenths, and this is all vocabulary that the students should be familiar with. They've worked on it with us, so they are aware that hundredths and tenths represent smaller numbers. Tenths are bigger than hundredths. And this is like money. This would be like your dimes. This would be your pennies type thing. So we represented it with a place value chart. So one of the things we had to do, let me see if I can back this out so it's not quite so in your face. We have a place value chart. And the students did work in groups with my intern and I to get this done. So this is our decimal point. This is our ones, tenths, hundredths. All right, and so what we did is we were comparing two different decimals. And I'm going to use manipulatives to show you. The kids did this, so they're very familiar with the manipulatives. So we have no ones. We have 4/10 and no hundredths for our first number. We have no ones, 3/10 and 1/100th. So when we are comparing decimals, we look at the greatest valued place value, which would be our ones. We have nothing here, so we're going to move to our right to our next place value, with our tenths, and we look at our two numbers. I have 4 here, I have 3 here. 4 is bigger than 3. It does not matter that there are 2 digits here. If this place value is bigger, it has a bigger number. This represents 40 cents. This represents 31 cents. 40 cents is greater than 31 cents. So that's kind of, this is exactly what the students did during small group with us today. So here's another example. 0 ones, 2/10, 3 hundredths. This number had 3/10. Looking at my ones, nothing here. I moved to the right. In my tenths, my next greatest value, place value, here I have 2, here I have 3. Because I have 3.3, I'm going to write it on here. So here I have 2/10, here I have, that should be 3, I don't know what I'm doing. There we go, try it that way. So I have the number, if I were to write it out, 0.23. So that's like 23 cents, and this is 0.3, and if there's nothing there, that's automatically a 0. So 0.23 is less than 0.30. 0.30 is greater. Even though there is only one place value represented, the place value that's represented is a larger place value. Here's another example. Nothing in the tens. I have 1 here, 3 here, nothing there, 4 there. I always start to the left. In my ones, there's nothing. Move to my tenths. Here I have 1. Here I have nothing. Nothing is represented by a 0. So let's write these numbers out. 0.13. And since 1 is bigger than 0, it is greater than, so the open part faces the number, faces the bigger number, 0.04. This is saying 13 cents is greater than 4 cents. So this is exactly what the kids did today. So I'm going to give them a couple of comparison numbers. They should be using their place value charts just as I did with the chart here. So for example, if they have, let me give you a sentence. Martha has 46 cents. Dan has half a dollar. Who has more money? So looking at this particular problem, let me zoom in a little bit on the problem here. Look, woo, that's a little too loose. Looking at this particular problem, I can go through and I can see what I know. And I know that Martha has 46 cents, so I'm going to write that. And I'm going to write Martha. And I know that Dan has half a dollar. And what it's asking is who has more. So when I do that, I would set up my place value chart, and I do need to know what half a dollar means. And since I know money, and we did that on Tuesday, I know half a dollar is 50 cents. So I am going to make my place value chart. I'm labeling it. This is Martha. This is Dan. Martha has 0.46. Dan has 0.50. Now I'm looking, starting at my largest place value, which is always to the left. There are zeros. That doesn't help me. I come here. 5 is bigger than 4. So Dan has more money than Martha. And that is my answer statement. The students will have to do this on FSA, so they need to practice writing this out. If I were to write this with comparison of symbols, 0.46 is less than 0.50. All right, let me give you a few to work on, and then we'll be good to go. So let's compare using symbols. .76 and 0.9. 1.38 and 1.47. 1.99 and 2.0. All right, there's some practice problems. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching, everybody.